back. The Brothers from Inglewood podcast once again coming to you live and direct. Exciting subject that we're going to talk about today. But before I do, I just want to say thanks to the Coalesce Group. Thanks to Fruit Off the Vine Clothing and Apparel for women and young girls. We just appreciate your partnership. We thank you for allowing us to be a part of what you're doing. We know that you are being impactful in both industries, and we just want to say thanks. And to you that are watching us live via Facebook and following us on this platform, YouTube, we just want to say thank you for all of your support, all of your encouragement. I'm back, Hoopie, with Charley Mack, and before I go into the topic, I just want to throw it to Charley Mack and let him holler at you.
We back in the studio, guys. Once again, we're going live. We had such a great response last time we went live, so we figured we'd go live with you guys at least once a week and give you a little bit of content and things that we've discussed during the week. So kick back, guys. Enjoy the show. We're going to speak on a topic hopefully you guys will be interested in. So I'm going to throw it over to the pilot and let him do his thing.
Man, well said. Once again, it's good to be back. As you know, it's been a little delay, but we back in the groove. And to you guys that have been following and requesting, and we just want you to like, subscribe, and share this content. Let somebody know that we're on. We try to be as consistent as we need to be. And just look for us and ring the bell, the notification once you come on, and that way you'll know when we're airing and what we're doing. And so it's just been an exciting ride thus far. And I just want to introduce this topic because it's almost it's something that a lot of people have just truly taken for granted.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot of things that is comprised of this subject that we're about to announce, and it's how we approach it that I think makes it the institution that ultimately it should be. And so our subject today is marriage. We want to talk about marriage, and there's so many facets to it, and I look forward to just kind of learning something new and gleaning from other, experiences. But I think it's time to kind of dissect it.
Yes, sir.
It's nothing wrong with the institution of marriage. I think that's something that people have to understand in and of itself. God has instituted marriage, and God feels a certain way about family and procreation. So it's really in line and in the heartbeat of God. But many of us as humans, we have this human frailty. We approach the commitment totally different. We see it differently. A lot of people aren't married.
Right.
They don't want to be married.
Right.
They had success without actually going down the aisle and signing over their name to that person. So I'm gonna just let you get a crack at it, and I'll develop some questions from there.
It's a thing where it's an individual. I think everybody has different opinions about marriage, especially when you've been married before, and then you get divorced, and people that's still in a marriage. It's just a lot to it. For people who are listening and who's never been married, they can't really speak on it because they've never really been married. So you have to have either been married before or you're married now to be able to have a dog in the race.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
because you have a lot of people sometimes, even people who don't have kids, they always want to tell you how to parent your kids, but they don't have any. So until you put a dog in the race, kick rocks.
Yeah, well, well said, because I think also when you look at marriage, as an institution and the relationship, for some reason, you see it differently than you did when you were dating or courting or just in that boyfriend-girlfriend state.
Right.
So, dude, what changes? My thing is, I've heard a lot of people criticize it. I've heard a lot of people become disgruntled about it because they feel like something changes. Once you say I do, your honeymoon lasts momentarily. And then it's like, who did I marry? It's almost like you revert back to being strangers or somebody's an imposter. So I think one of the biggest things for me was when I got married, I had a thought process, I had an intent, I thought I would be married forever.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a guy who just grew old with his mate.
Right.
And, we just rode off into the sunset together, had our matching chairs, and, retired. And, is that fantasy or what, dude?
It's not really fantasy. It's really what everybody, I won't say everybody, but pretty much the majority of people who go into a marriage and walk down the aisle, they think it's, well, I don't want to say they think, but they want it to be forever. That's
the intent.
That's the intent. This is going to be forever. This is who I'm married. This is going to be, like you just said, we're going to grow old together. But I think sometimes when the majority of people that I can say that has probably walked down the aisle, there's probably been a lot of them who probably never lived with their wife or their husband before.
Okay.
So now once you come into a situation where you guys have to share a space, now you begin to see who these people are in this same space that you're sharing.
I see.
You guys begin to see each other's idiosyncrasies and the way that you guys move. And then a lot of times, things that maybe the husband or the wife may do, it may be a deal breaker. But then there's times where you say, well, no, this is my husband or this is my wife, so I'm in this for the long haul, so let me just try to compromise with this person. And, people, like I said, people who's never lived with someone, and I don't even want to say married to them, but if you've never really lived with a man or a woman for a length of time, I would think you guys should before you walk down the aisle, because you're going to really, really begin to see who this other person is. You don't see when you're dating her. When you guys are just dating, she lives there, you live there, you guys are going out, and maybe she'll come spend a night a couple nights, or you'll go over there and spend a night a couple nights. But when you really got to live with that person forever is when now the reality kicks in. And you're like, oh, man.
Okay, so when point well taken, because when I think of the marriage commitment, or when I made my marriage commitment, I remember the vows saying, do not enter into this lightly, right? So I was to soberly and patiently look at this situation, because it's more than what it's more than what meets the eye, right? So is that probably the issue with a lot of us? We didn't really research the commitment. We didn't, like you just mentioned, well, hey, I never lived with this person. I didn't know that they leave their clothes, in the hallway. I didn't know that they don't,
cook,
bathe every
or clean,
every,
or bathe. Yeah,
every day.
No, you're right.
So is that on the individuals for not being able to properly assess what they're going into? It's like reading a contract.
You know what? That's a serious valid point, because in a lot of ways you're right. I think in the beginning, first of all, men and women should understand what marriage is.
Okay.
First of all, you should say, okay, not even marriage. What is a husband?
Okay.
What is a wife?
Okay.
The wife should take a look at it first off and say, okay, now what's the definition of a wife?
Okay.
And then the man should say, okay, what's the definition of a husband?
I got you.
What's my husbandly duties as a husband?
Yeah.
And the wife in return, okay, what's my wifely duties as a
you.
wife?
Wow.
And I think that we go into marriages very, very unprepared and with a different concept of what we're doing.
I got you.
They don't look at the
you.
severity of what a husband is and what a wife is.
Yeah, because
they just do it wholeheartedly, like, okay, I love him, he loves me, we're gonna get married.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was back in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, where a lot of times back then marriage is forever.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what the wife did or the husband did. What a marriage was forever.
They didn't leave. Yeah.
No.
Now, and that's valid too, because I think of this. I say, when you go into these different commitments in a relationship, first and foremost, a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons.
That's what I'm telling you.
They're either some women are pregnant, some women have gotten tired of just dating for the last 10 years, and it's time. They feel like it's just time to be married.
Some women do it for the title.
Some women do it.
They like the way the title looks.
Yeah.
Wife versus a girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because like even in ministry, right? They want us to be married. They prefer the minister to be married because it represents the wholeness of the family core.
Right.
You know, you're a leader of your family. This is what God has brought us into as a family, because there are responsibilities and roles that have to be fulfilled in order to procreate, to expand the kingdom, right? So there are situations where some people they didn't ever want to be married.
Right.
But they were still effective in ministry.
Right.
There were people that were divorced. I'm a divorcee. I've been divorced. So I can go through the scripture, and I'm sure there's some scholars out there that are listening or viewing that will, give me a theological reason why I should be married and what that looks like. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, you don't just get married because you're not married or because of a position that, someone, deems that you're qualified for, but you got to fill these criteria.
Right.
So I just think that we, like you said, man, we don't look at the whole scope. What is my role? What am I expected to do as a husband?
Yeah.
Do I have the ability to be that husband?
Yeah.
What qualifies me?
Yeah.
And is my spouse going to be patient enough
Well,
until I get there?
Yeah. And then you have to understand too that in a marriage, it's a partnership, and the woman.
Don't say that.
Well, what I'm saying is.
No, what I'm saying is that's not like a lot of people don't think like
it's supposed to be a
partnership.
partnership, and it's supposed to be where this wife is going to say, okay, this is my husband. Let me let this man lead this household. Let me let this man be a man and be a husband to our family.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the lines get blurred where, the woman, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They like the title. They like, we got the same last name. But at the end of the day, are you really giving this man the respect that he deserves, in a marriage?
Yeah.
So, like I said, the whole thing about marriage is just a thing where I think people take it for granted. I think people take it for granted. People, and then, like you were saying, there's a large percentage of people who they marry for the wrong reasons.
They do, man. They do.
They marry for all the wrong reasons.
I'm fortunate to counsel, couples. I'm fortunate to sit down and talk to married couples.
You've married a lot of couples.
I've married a lot, yeah.
Didn't you just do one this weekend?
I just did one last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend.
And so I think a lot of things are not thought through I think it's more excitement or coercement, but it goes back to understanding. Man, a lot of people write their own vows.
Yes.
So if you writing your own vows, you're taking God out of the ceremony.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, thank you, Lord, for bringing me to this door. I'll take it from here.
But I'm gonna do it my way.
I'm gonna do it my way because So a lot of people don't understand that your situation can also be altered by the commitment you made
from the very start.
From the start, because now, granted, a lot of people aren't religious. A lot of people aren't Christian. A lot of people have their own pursuit of God, whether they are believers or non-believers. I understand all that. But here in America, where now I didn't say this is statistics. This is the largest Christian nation in the world, right? So the religion of America is Christianity, right? But at the end of the day, you're talking about people that are just going away from the counsel of God. They're going away from, some of the things that matters to God and substituting those things to appease themselves.
But you know what, though?
And it's a lot of divorce.
Yeah, but in that being said, it can still work if the two people who made this commitment with each other have 100% respect for one another.
Yeah.
It's what you just said. A long time ago we was talking and you were mentioning something. I was telling you about my situation. You was like, well, she don't love you.
Yeah.
And she don't respect you.
Yeah.
And it's all about respect. You walk down an aisle, you take that woman's hand in marriage and vice versa. Then from that point on, the both of you are gonna have to have mutual 100% respect for each other.
Yeah.
As a man and as a woman and as my wife and as my husband. Yeah. And when that goes this way, that marriage is not gonna work.
Yeah.
And let's not even talk about, and there's probably some people viewing, let's not even talking about the people that's in marriages right now that's miserable and don't want to be in them.
Yeah.
But they force themselves to be in these relationships for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Old and young.
Yeah, true. Very true. I think it goes back to what you said. That's a primary point that you made. Do I know how to be a husband?
Yeah.
What does that consist of?
Yeah.
What is
what's my duties?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And without that tool, because it's a journey anyway.
Regardless,
it's
an uphill battle anyway.
And
it's work every day.
It's work, and I think what happens is a lot of us, we take marriage lightly.
Take it for granted.
And then we also get caught up into this situation to where I got my career, I got money in the bank, I got it going on. Now all I need
is a husband or wife.
Yeah. It's like
he's a husband or a wife.
I'll be good. And then it's like, okay, well, are you seeking this to put a notch on your belt to fulfill your all around goal?
It's status.
Right.
It looks good as status. When you meet someone and you say my husband or my wife, it's status.
Yeah.
It's like a status quo where let's say you're in the business world and you're an executive or you're whatever, and you get invited to these executive parties and you're like, oh, this is my wife, and it's different than saying, oh, this is my girlfriend.
Well,
this is my husband. This is my boyfriend. Yeah. It means something way different.
It means something
different.
But like I just said, I mean, even if you're in law enforcement and you're climbing the
corporate ladder up in,
or even in politics.
Yeah.
They want to see the family structure.
Yeah.
They want to know.
It looks good on paper.
Well, it looks good, the whole idea of it, because it's like, okay, well, at least he's married. He may not be out here, being a playboy.
That's the misconception, and you're right. It looks good, so it makes them want to say, oh, okay, well, he's a family man.
Yeah, it's almost
she's a
meeting the
family man.
Yeah, you're meeting the criteria because at the end of the day, you could be the worst of the worst and yet married, and your spouse know that you're really a booger. but your
sugar booger.
Yeah, your colleagues and everything say, oh man, Hoops, he's a family man.
He's a family man. He's a married man. He's a married man.
But if they interview my wife, she'd be like, oh, he's a monster.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna throw this out there, and you can chop it up. Is marriage overrated? Is marriage overrated?
Yes. In my opinion, yes.
Tell me why.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because people that's like you sometimes you meet these women and you be like, oh, she's single, but oh, y'all, my girlfriends are married or whatever. It's just a title. If you're not doing what you should do in that marriage as a husband and a wife, then it is overrated. I mean, sometimes people think. I mean, I don't want to say that it's overrated. I'm saying from my point of view. I think it's overrated. And it all depends on the individual. I mean, some individuals, like me, for example, I'm a loner by nature. I don't have a problem with being alone. But I also like being in a relationship when I have one as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And having that person. But I also, like, I don't need to be married. I'm not one of those men that's seeking a wife. And I wanted a wife. And some women, they seek a husband. Some men, they seek a wife until they do it, and they're like, oh, dang. It wasn't all what I was cracked up to be. So I can't say that marriage is overrated as a whole. I can't give you that statistic. I can only give you how I feel about marriage. How do you feel about marriage in terms of, you've been married before.
Yeah.
If I had to ask you, okay, let me ask, matter of fact, I'm going to pose the question to you. Cameron. How do you feel about marriage? Do you think that it's overrated or what? What's your opinion on marriage? Don't give me no biblical answer. I want to know how you feel.
How
you feel.
Well, you know how I believe.
I know how you believe. I don't want to hear your belief in what's right and what's wrong. Just as a man.
I feel like marriage is taken too lightly, and it has actually put me in a place to where it got to be show and tell for me. Meaning, yes, I see a lot of fraudulent people entering into this covenant. Therefore, I don't bash the actual institution.
Right.
It's nothing. And listen to me closely. There's nothing wrong with the institution of marriage.
Right.
It has been ordained. However, our approach to this commitment is on us. So I'm not jaded. I don't feel like I'll never ever get married again. I don't feel like that. I would like to have a wife. I would like to have a companion that I could grow with and I can develop with, and that I can, be supportive to, and vice versa. I'm not looking for perfection, but I'm looking for something that will be complementing and compatible to Cameron. So I believe in love. I believe in the system. But honestly, dude, I don't believe in a lot of the people.
And also people don't understand the people who've never been married, and they're always have an opinion about, oh, why didn't you do this? Or I wouldn't have done that. Listen, if you've never been married, then you can't speak on it. You don't know it takes 3 seconds to be married. And it takes a whole lot to get out of a marriage. Especially if you guys have accumulated things throughout the years. Property, You guys got property. You guys got this. You got other stuff that
children.
It's not easy to just walk out of a marriage. You know what I think? I think a lot of women know that too. I think a lot of women like, oh yeah, dude, you can't. Oh yeah, you're not just gonna just walk out on this.
Of course.
You may do whatever, but we, And I think a lot of women look at that more than how men look at that.
I think it's even playing field. Like the other day, I I did something on the subject of do you feel like you need someone to go through life with?
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty much the same thing that we're
thing.
talking about. If I'd have thought about it, we would have just did part 2 to it.
Right.
But marriage is more specific because that's the ultimate level that we all are trying to reach when we're in a relationship. Yeah. Now, some people is like, I don't want to get married. Ain't trying to get married.
Right.
Don't need to get married.
Right.
But I want somebody.
Yeah.
They even have a live-in.
Yeah.
We live together. We share things together. We have a bank account together. I get all that.
Yeah.
However, you still got to respect each other. You still got to have some ground rules. You still have to, because if you're not married and you've been living with your guy for 10 years, 20 years, I'm still believing to myself, you want to know when he's coming home. You want to know when he's leaving. You want to know what he's doing on that Saturday, because you may have had plans, but he said, I'm going to get with my buddies. So, really, man, you playing by marriage rules, but you're not married.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big reason why I never even thought about living with somebody.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm not gonna be obligated to act like a husband
when I'm not a husband.
You ain't made me no husband.
You ain't put a ring on it?
No. So
you ain't put a ring on it?
So and I'm gonna respect you, but there's certain things that I'm considered by law a single man. When I sign fill out an application, it gives me options. Are you single? Are you divorced? Are you blah, blah, blah? I put single.
Yeah, and it's so funny. You're right, because even, you got men who've been married 2 and 3 times. You got women who's been married 2 and 3 times. So, I mean, you have some people, I guess they just like the idea
of
being married,
yeah.
And then you got some men who went down the aisle one time, they're like, I ain't doing it again. And you got some women who went down the aisles and I ain't never doing it again. So, but it all depends. See, it all depends on the person that you were married to. Yeah. What kind of scars what kind of lumps did you take while you were in that marriage? Yeah. Did you get lumped up or did you just get cut?
Well, I think
it is different.
Some situations are more severe.
Because that's going to determine your next step in life in terms of, do I want to go down this road again?
I want to do
Some
it
people
again?
come out of marriages scarred. Yeah. Some people come out of marriages lumped up. Yeah. Some people come out of marriages broke down.
Yeah, true.
So it all depends on how you came out of your last marriage.
That's true.
If you want to go there again.
That's true. I think everyone should have their moment of healing. Everybody deserves to go through a healing process. What I've learned in meeting people as well as counseling couples, bro, the worst situations start with those who jumped out of a relationship into one.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, those are the worst situations that you deal with. Why? Because somebody didn't give themselves time to heal.
Oh, yeah,
time. I met another guy and he's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's different than you.
Yeah.
And you like giving that guy hell on wheels because everything about your last guy is coming out in the relationship.
I got a best childhood friend who I grew up with. I ain't gonna say his name, but he jumped into a marriage because he was trying to get over a relationship. And I'm like, what are you doing? But people do it all the time. You got men, and I'm gonna get off the women. You got men out there, man, who they gotta be in a relationship.
I got a couple of buddies like
they
that.
just got it. I mean, you like, dude, didn't you just get lumped up by this chick? Right. Now you're gonna get lumped up by this. Now you're gonna take another couple lumps. How many lumps do you want? Yeah. And you got people. Some people, men and women, they cannot be alone. They gotta have a man or they gotta have a woman.
That's true. See, I get this all the time, and it's not so much because I'm a minister. I get this all the time because I've been single for a long time. I've been single for 10 years, right? And when people find out male and female, when they find out I've been single all this time, it's almost like, what's wrong with you?
I knew you were going to say that.
What are you waiting on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not in a hurry, but at least I gave myself time to heal. So in other words, bro,
you're going to be better
I don't
for
have
the next
no
one.
baggage.
Yeah, you're going to be better for your next wife if you happen to be married. You've already healed. You've already gone through the process. You know, you're 100%. So now, when I get into this next marriage, I can give her everything of this new thing and not the old guy.
Because what happens is this, man. You can't hurry time.
No.
Time waits for no man or no woman. However, I really believe that if I had just reacted emotionally, over the years, I probably would have wrecked somebody's life.
Yeah.
Because I think at some point you lose yourself only to find yourself.
Yeah.
And so at this point in my life, bro, I know what I want. I mean, she doesn't have to look a physical way. She doesn't have to be a certain height. I know what works for Cameron.
Right.
So when I see that or meet that, then I can start the process. I'm not saying I'm just going, hey, let's get married. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying is I'm a healthy dude. Yeah, I got pet peeves. Yeah, I got, some, I would say, stigmas, meaning I think we all have characteristics of certain, but you can adjust with that. I can adjust. However, dude, I ain't bringing no trouble into nobody's life, bro. I'm not a broken guy.
Right.
Bringing
baggage.
No, man.
Yeah,
I'm a whole.
Basically, you're not bringing any emotional baggage from your last marriage into this new relationship, which is good.
No.
Because there's a lot of people who bring baggage from their last. It don't even have to be marriage. It could be their last relationship. Mm-hmm. They're bringing that old baggage into this new relationship with this new guy or girl, and they end up running that guy or girl off.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what happened to you? I mean, what did your last dude do to you? And the girl's like, what happened to you? What did your last girlfriend do to you?
Yeah.
And it ends up affecting the new relationship.
Okay, let me go here with that. While married, do you feel it's necessary to have counseling? I mean, a lot of people stop counseling after premarital counseling. They never go back. And then look at this. Some people never even go. They just go and make a date, agree with their spouse to be, and it's on with the wedding plans. But dude, you need to talk things out, talk things through with a mediator who's only there to referee in this regard. Charles, don't talk over,
so and so.
Cameron don't talk over so.
Right.
That's what the counsel is really for, and then gathering your information and suggesting tools.
I think that's
go bowling.
I think
more.
I think that's positive. I think if both parties want to help the relationship and they want to see what shortcomings they may have that may affect the other one, who it could be deal breakers or whatever. And if I feel like if that's what they need to do, if they're willing to accept it, then yeah, I think it's healthy for people to get counseling if that's okay. But there's certain situations that counseling ain't gonna help. Certain situations where counseling is not going. Okay, put it this way: counseling is not going to change a person's personality in terms of this is who this man or this woman is. Now, counseling may be able to change. Let's say you guys are having problems where, let's say the husband don't want to go out. The husband don't want to take his wife to dinner at least once a week. All he want to do is lay around on the couch and watch NFL Ticket. Let's say that's all he want to do and he don't want to do nothing else. Now, let's say that's a problem for the wife. And she may say, look, dude, can you take a sister out to feed her?
Well,
so now, this has been a continual thing. Let's go to counseling about this. So now he can sit there and take a listen to this mediator, like you said, and say, hey, look, dude, you're going to have to get off the couch. At least, can you guys at least agree to say, okay, look, I'll take you out every other Friday to dinner. Yeah. Then the mediator may say, okay, now, does that help you as the wife? She may be like, yeah, that's good. So I think counseling can help with little small things like that, but I don't think counseling can help someone change who they are in the core.
Well, I
don't think so. Me personally,
I think counseling is.
That's because you're a counselor. so you we're gonna. It's gonna be
Well, I agree with you. I'm just saying that I believe counseling only works if the individual wants.
That's what I said. If they want it to work,
if they don't want counseling,
it ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work for them.
Right.
See, people that go to AA meetings, they go because the court ordered them to go. They gotta,
in certain cases.
Right.
You're right.
Because a lot of them have lost it all.
Yeah, CAs.
They lost their kid.
No, yeah.
They lost
their
their
home.
husband.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are just not at a place where they're accountable, and they want to say, "Hey, I need help."
They're not at rock bottom yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not at rock bottom.
I need help. They won't always do that, but I believe that you shouldn't stop counseling.
I think I think there's a little bit of
once a month, once a quarter.
There's a little bit of ambivalence there because, like I said, it goes back to what you were saying as well. You have to want this counseling, and what are you going to counseling for?
Well, yeah.
It depends.
That's up to the individual.
But it depends on the situation between these two people. What is it that he is doing or she is doing to create this havoc to where I think we need counseling? Can it be fixed?
Or can
it,
Yeah, because it should not solely be.
Or maybe we should say therapy and not counseling. Maybe it should be therapy.
Same thing. Well,
a
therapy is deeper. Right. Therapy is much deeper.
Sometimes some people need something deeper.
Well, of course they do. We all do. We all need counseling.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think like you said, if the individual is saying, yeah, I do need help. I need to take a look at me and stop looking at my husband.
Right.
In that regard.
Right.
But I do need to look at my husband by saying, he wants this to work. We're a team. I need to also consider my teammate. But it is definitely for me too. And see, I think that's where the problem is. A lot of individuals don't feel like it ain't me.
See, but that's what I told you in the very beginning about when we talked about marriage. Some men and women, they don't know what their role is as a wife and as a husband. So that's why all of a sudden these problems are occurring. And like you just said, well, it ain't me. It ain't. Did you really know in the very beginning when you walked down that aisle what your duties was going to be as that husband? What your duties was going to be as that wife?
Yeah.
If you don't know your duties, then it's going to be a problem.
But a lot of times, man, you're right. A lot of times, too, people don't even know themselves.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What I'm saying is they don't know anything about themselves.
I know.
So yet alone, now you're asking them to fulfill a role. They like, shoot, I don't even know who I am.
No, you're right, though. It's the truth. It's sad. No, it's the truth.
I don't even know who I am.
It's the truth. Or I know who I am, but because I believe there's a lot of people, men and women, they know who they are. But do they want to admit who they are? Do they want to accept their shortcomings?
Well, some people got problems.
But what I'm saying is they know they got problems.
Not really.
A lot of them know. I had a buddy who I worked with, man, this dude knew. He said, man, look, I know I got a problem. This dude had and he's probably listening, I ain't going to say his name, but this was the coolest dude in the world. He had a serious anger issue. And he told me, he said, look, Chase, he said, look, man, I was worse than this. Shout out to my brother. Assalamu alaikum. He know who he is by me saying that.
Yeah.
But this was a cool cool brother, man. But this dude had a serious issue with his anger, and he admitted it to me. He said, "Man, I know I got a problem, and I'm trying to help it." So a lot of people know it, but do they want to accept their shortcoming? Well, no, you're right. I'm not saying everybody knows it, because I know what you're thinking.
Because some people, man, they function in a way that they think is normal.
Right. You're right. You're right.
And the whole discovery is
you're right.
Therapy, counseling, or somebody that they love and is close to them that'll say, "Hey, check it out, Hoop, man. You got a temper, dude."
But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people, and we talked about this once before, that men and women, we police each other as men. We be like, "Hey, check it out, man. You tripping."
Yeah.
Women, a lot of women, they don't police each other.
Yeah.
They go, girl. Yeah, you go, girl. Leave him. Do this, do that. Instead of them saying, "Look, girl, you got a good dude at home, or you got a good husband at home. You need to knock it off."
Yeah.
They're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, the women are like, "Okay, well, my girls is telling me this is all right to do."
Yeah.
So they never look at themselves and say, "This is an issue."
Yeah, because and then sometimes, man, it's a culture, it's an upbringing, it's an environment, it's something that they're conducive to, and it's dysfunctional. So now you're dealing in a realm and such depth, man, of dysfunction, to where they act as if it's normal, and it's not normal.
You know what? We gonna cut the live, and we gonna cut it. But I'm gonna tell you something. No. Just talking about this, our next topic is gonna be, why do people stay in marriages when they know they're over? Because you got a lot of people that's in marriages and in I don't even want to use the relationship, but in marriages where they know it was over a long time ago.
Well, yeah.
They know it was over a long time
Are
ago.
they fixable?
No. No.
Yeah.
No. Because I'm going to tell you something when we get off live. I'm going to tell you something, and then you're going to see what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I mean, bro, this, it's always real, with us when it comes to these topics, because we're so close to them.
Right.
And like I said before, we'll get the bells and whistles so we can see people chiming in.
Right.
We're going to have a
Respond
phone.
back
Yeah.
to them, right.
Also a call in.
Right.
They'll be able to call in, and we'll have some live voices on the network, so that we can really get the feel of the audience.
Right.
And I've been really diligently trying to work on this so that we can really understand other perspectives.
Right.
Because, man, this is some real stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And so, I want to say thanks to all the viewers, everyone that's on the live. Please leave some comments there. We can build on those. We can discuss some subjects. And you guys recommend some subjects that you might want to discuss. And like I said, I'm going to have interaction to where, especially on the lives, because we can bring them on.
Yeah, of course.
And so when we do that, you'll be more engaged. So I just want to say thanks. I'm going to throw it to Charlie Mack. Let him close us out.
For the viewers who have sat and listened to the program, thank you guys for listening. Make sure that, we're going to do this every week. We're going to bring it to you guys, different topic. Like Cameron was saying, if you guys got ideas, you want to Friday Night Live. That's our new one.
Yeah.
If you want to chunk the responses into in the DMs or whatever, you can do that. Also, hey, come on down. If y'all want to come on down and do a couple rounds with the two champs, come on get in the ring with us.
You bad.
If you bad enough, come on get some. And we taking on all challengers. So we are more than happy to bring you guys on. But we're gonna sign it out, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to someone else. We also have a YouTube channel, so you guys can go to it, thembrothersfrominglewood.com, or just Them Brothers from Inglewood. Anyway, thank you guys for viewing in. Thank you guys for listening. We love you. Peace.
Peace.